Happy day. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We gonna try this out. We gonna try this thing out. We gonna try this out. Shabbat Shalom. Yasharala. I've never done this before with this new software I got put in, so it took me a little longer to begin this evening's lesson. So we gonna see what's happening. I hope it all works out. I really do. I hope it all works out. Let's see. I think the difference is with this, I'm not really able to see uh, if folks come in unless they leave a chat. Let me see. Okay, so that's the chat over there on that side, and if I put it up over here, oh no, I don't want to do that. Let's put it right there. This wild. All right, well, we gonna see what it do. We gonna see what it do, and we gonna rock and roll with it. And hey, if it's on, it's on. If it's on, it's on. It says we recording or it says I'm live. Okay. It says we live. We all in the building. So, I know tonight is it feels like one of them nights. And everything happens for a reason, right? So all praises to the most high, but it feels like it's one of them nights where what is it? It's supposed to be January 28th, right? It really feels like one of them nights where folks is out and about, sneaking a little club visit in, hitting the club tonight. I done already hit the club, and it feels like it's a few folks that wanted to go to the club, but they didn't get a chance to go to the club. So at first they was kind of upset about not being able to go to the club, and now that they home, they grateful for not going to the club. You got other folks who did go to the club tonight, and they just want to get home. They just want to get home. It feels like one of them nights. Like you expected the club to be popping or something, and it's not popping at all. You got to the club and it was like, why did I even leave tonight? I knew I should have stayed home. Well, well, the more that we listen to that voice within, the more that we realize that wisdom, wisdom speaks to us. And, you know, wisdom speaks to us. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 1. Doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? Wisdom speaks to us. And tonight's tonight's Shabbat lesson, and today's Shabbat lesson is going to be in pertinence to wisdom. She is wisdom. Wisdom is her name. Wisdom is her name. She is wisdom. Okay? And let's see if we could open this up some more. Get the screen a little bigger. Ah, okay. So now I can see the comments a little better. All right. At least I got my time limit down here, so that's cool. And oh, I could even record this if I want to, and then what? I suppose put it up on another platform or something like that. Well, look, it's your bro True Jew, and I hope everybody's doing well today. It's your Ak True Jew. I know that if you're unable to see this particular live stream right now, live, it should be up later on. It's just kind of weird because I never used this software, but it's supposed to be hooked up to YouTube. So my point is, if I talk, I'm already prepared to repeat this lesson. It might not be verbatim, it might not be word for word, but I'm going to repeat it. So if there's anybody who's tuned in and tapped in with the live stream right now, can you go ahead on and leave me a comment? Can you leave me a comment and just say, "Hey, Ak, I'm in. I'm here. I'm present. I'm present and accounted for. I'm in the building." Something. just so that I know as I go on, I'm not speaking to myself. I'm not speaking to a screen, because it's one thing to have a few people in the live chat or in the live stream while it's going on. It's a whole nother thing to be talking into the computer and ain't nobody even in the building because it ain't nobody picking up on the stream. So this is gonna be interesting for sure, to say the least. It's gonna be interesting. All right. So, what was the motivation for this? Well, as you know, as usual, there's a lot going on in the land of the strange. There's a lot going on. And I've touched on this particular topic before in regards to those of the so called world's wealthiest individuals, the richest people on earth, who appear to society to be wise in all accounts, appear to be wise in everything they do. It seems like everything they touch turns to gold. They are Fortune 500 company owners. They are billionaires with billionaire status. You have individuals with lots of stock and equity in companies and sit on boards and are in control of a lot of people's destinies as far as their input is concerned, influence is concerned. You have people who clamor to listen to small statements made by these individuals on social media platforms, and because of their so called prestige and because of the financial increase that they have at this time, it makes me wonder, is it the person talking which shows, which inspires the interest in them, or is it the money talking which inspires the interest in them, you know? And I can't help but think about this from the standpoint of looking at the influence and looking at how people allow themselves to be steered a certain way, right? People allow themselves to be steered a certain way based off of those who are placed in front of us, who we are supposed to trust because of their financial resources or because of a business they own or any number of surface level worldly attributes is what we want to call them, worldly attributes, worldly characteristics, which would suggest that this person is somebody important or somebody to listen to. And I guess in the same vein, somebody who supports that sort of energy would then look at an individual like myself and say, well, why should we listen to you? You know, what makes you so special? What is it that you're saying or doing that is so important for us to pay attention to or listen to? And coming from that perspective, one might be right. Okay. But there is a but, you know, you knew a but was going to come. There's always a but. The but is that those who are put before us on the world stage and are part of the mechanism and the machine that controls what we see, controls what we hear, essentially and subconsciously controls how we think and what types of motivations are in place in order to inspire us to move a certain way, right? Those people are part of the machine. They're part of the system. And this system is one based on innate wickedness. It's based on connections and camaraderie toward those in spiritual high places who seek to go against at every step of the way the Most High. Okay? In other words, the people who were put before us work for the forces of evil. And they work for the forces of evil in such a way where what they manifest in front of us that appears to be of sound knowledge and wisdom is usually the product of a form of wisdom that comes from their God or their overseer or their overlord. And the highest in chief of that uh, particular area of life is the wicked one itself. So, how do we dissect or discern between who is who? Well, one of the easiest ways I do it is I look at whatever platform this individual is utilizing and how that reach is pushed out through that platform at such a high rate, and how it's not only pushed out because to throw something or to push something out, something has to receive it or catch it, right? So, as these individuals are placed before us to throw out or pitch to us what the layman or those who are more worldly minded would deem as being wise, there are those of us who also see this information being pushed out, and we're able to immediately discern that it's of the wicked. Okay? And one individual that always comes to mind when I think about this is Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk is a sly guy. I saw some images of him. Well, before I speak on the images that I saw, now they weren't, well, they were spiritually nasty. Let's put it like that. Before I get to those images, and I'm still learning how to use this software, and I hope to get good enough with it where I can put images on the screen and where I can screen share my computer screen so that we can actually get more hands on with the receipts that I usually pull forward during lessons like this, so that you see I'm not just coming out and saying things from a biased standpoint, or saying things that could be construed as being fueled from some sort of envy or jealousy. Okay? But Elon Musk is one of those guys who, for all intents and purposes, is normally soft spoken. He's normally presented as a Bruce Wayne type. That's kind of like that's kind of the air of character that he's playing. He plays more like a Bruce Wayne type of guy where, oh, he's very well off, and he has indispensable funds, and he can invent all sorts of things and do what he wants to do, and all of his inventions are so wise and so well put together, and oh wow, what a great man, right? But behind closed doors, he works for the wicked one. And those who choose to be blind to this are always celebrating, rooting him on, and they take his word for whatever he says to be just that. And most people don't really question what it is that he was even put before us for. By the grace of the Most High, I've discerned this particular hierarchy that they have very closely over the last few years, and it would appear to me that each generation, going from what's the newest generation? Generation Z, or is that the newest generation? Well, let's just say you got Generation Z all the way up through uh, the generation before the baby boomers that's still here on Earth right now, and each generation has its own white superhero, if I may. And I hate to say it like that, but that's the theme. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, folks in their 70s to 90s have Warren Buffett. Okay, he's the world's richest man in their generation, right? Then the baby boomers have Bill Gates, right? Then the Generation Xers have Elon Musk. The millennials, y'all know who, Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, and I don't know, like I said, I guess Generation Z is kind of fitting in with the millennials right now, because that's who is being marketed to the most as far as these new inventions like Neuralink and the metaverse and things that are going to be very, very used for very deceptive means eventually, where our children, the youth have been so desensitized to what's actually going on, that they will be the ones who are willing to utilize these new inventions and to go with the flow of even a cashless society, go with the flow of relinquishing their rights to property ownership and home ownership and having tangible physical assets that they can utilize for leverage purposes, right? And there are more and more youth today, And I know we have a great awakening, don't get me wrong here. But the majority of youth, okay, the majority of the youth who will be adults soon, who will be decision makers soon, they are the ones who are being marketed to. They are the ones who are being identified as those who might be the most easiest to get over on when it comes to the new technology, when it comes to the new inventions, when it comes to those things that will help the wicked brotherhood achieve their goal for the wicked one. Now, in order to actually see what's going on, I think it's important to know how to discern. I've always thought this. I've always thought that it was important to know how to discern, know how to do what the scriptures call right ruling. Okay? And right ruling is very important. And we are asked to be conscientious judges with all that we do today. Especially as sons and children of Israel, we are asked to be the sort of people mentally who are founded on spiritual principles as given to us by the Most High in order to correct and right the wrongs that our forefathers and foremothers persisted in that ended up getting us here into captivity today. And this is very important. This is what we call taking up the mantle. Okay, this is what we call taking the baton and running with it. Okay, this is what we call living within the legacy that was established for us, or standing on the shoulders of those who've come before us. Now, if we're standing on the shoulders of individuals who chose to be ignorant, then we can only expect to continue to build upon a foundation that one day is going to crumble and fall away. If we choose to stand on the shoulders of those who did everything in their power allotted to them to remain in wisdom and to move according to wisdom and the tenets and principles of the Most High's word, then we can expect that yes, we'll be enemies to the world. Yes, we'll be ostracized for our stance. But we can at least expect that no matter how hard things get for us, we will be continuing to build on a foundation of rock. We will be continuing to build upon a solid foundation. Okay? Now, one story that always got to me in regards to wisdom was the famous story within the narrative of First Kings. Okay, and let's see, we want to go First Kings chapter 3. First Kings chapter 3 talks about Solomon receiving wisdom. Yes, King Solomon, the Melech of Yashral, at the time after his father David had passed on. And Solomon inherited the throne. He was prophesied to sit on the throne. Solomon did many great things for Yasharallah by way of the Most High. But there's some things that I think we oftentimes look over. Now, we shouldn't look over this very key perspective of Solomon, but I think it's important more so than ever when we talk about the wisdom of today and those who are placed before us versus the wisdom of yesteryear, when we actually had access to our land and to the land of our fathers. Now, in today's day, Solomon, for all intents and purposes, and don't beat me up for this, I'm just basing off of today's day. Solomon would be like well, the first person came to my mind was Jay-Z with the access to resources. That's why I said don't beat me up about this. But in no way, well, in a few ways, he might even be like Jay-Z might not met Jay-Z might even be like Solomon in a few ways, especially when it came to sacrificing to all these other gods and all this other stuff later on, right? And even ahead of time, we're gonna read that Solomon was kind of doing some things there when he first inherited the throne that weren't necessarily indicative of his overall rulership of being the king of Yasharala. This is before the kingdom split into the southern kingdom of Judah and the northern kingdom. Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Queen Sister. Okay, so this is working. Woo! I didn't even know if it was working because I'm not on YouTube. I'm on the software right now. So, like I said, I hope to be able to master this software and start sharing my receipts with the family so that y'all see I'm not just coming out the side of my neck with what's being said. But you could definitely follow along with me in the scriptures. But Solomon had these proclivities, and his proclivities were to serve other gods and to kind of go off at times with the energy that he gave out. And we know later on in life, as he got older and became an elder, that he was, do we want to use the word coerced? I don't know if we want to use the word coerced. I think that's a strong word, but I think it's not really suitable for Solomon's case. He was more so trying to appease. So he was very knowledgeable of what he was doing. But I wasn't necessarily there. But I feel as though he was trying to keep the peace amongst his particular branch of the kingdom at that time. And it's one of them things. Shabbat Shalom. It's one of those things where I want to I want to make very clear that his energy is pretty synonymous with what we see today. Okay? It's pretty synonymous with what we see today at a certain part in time where he represented righteousness. Okay? And we know he was a wise man. And we know that he was able to right rule, meaning he was able to make decisions that would benefit the kingdom, even if those decisions, the kingdom of Israel, even if those decisions were hard. Bold righteousness, Shalom family, Shalom family. So this is working. This is working. I'm happy to see that this is working. I started off this live stream talking about folks just getting home from the club, or some folks wanting to, go to the club, but it didn't work out for them tonight. So they ended up staying home, and I know they glad they stayed home. It feels like one of them weird nights. I don't know where y'all at in the land, but it feels like one of those weird nights where I think it's best to just stay on inside tonight. I think it's best to play it cool and just stay on inside. But we're gonna be talking about wisdom. So where we're gonna start off with this is I want to relate the people who are put before us today as being wise, like the Bill Gates and the Elon Musks and the Warren Buffetts and the Mark Zuckerbergs and all these people. I want to be very clear on the wisdom that they utilize and where that wisdom comes from. Okay? Where that wisdom comes from versus the wisdom that Solomon was blessed with, and the wisdom that us as the saints of the Most High and the children of Israel are asked to operate within. Okay? Once again, the so-called elite of today, and I'm just going to be very blunt and get straight to it. The so-called elite of today operate under a very demonic and devilish form of wisdom. All of the inventions that they are bringing forth today, from the Neuralink to Metaverse, to the RFID chip, to the Beyond Meat foods, to the DUMBs, the deep underground military bases, all of these inventions, they are created in order to bring glory to the wicked one, their father. Okay, now I'm going to use the word glory. Okay, I'm going to use the word glory. I know it's a strong word in pertinence to the enemy, but this is what they're doing. At the very root of everything that they present to us today, the RFID tattoos and all of this madness, it is all to big up their father, the devil. Okay, so because it's a form of worldly wisdom, these people are pushed in front of us as the all wise, as the people who know everything, because that know everything characteristic is also associated with their bank account. Now, what we don't know if we're blind to this, is that we don't know what they got in their bank account, because we know today that that digital number is just that, ones, excuse me, ones and zeros on a screen. Ones and zeros on the screen. They not doing like Floyd Mayweather Jr. with the big briefcases and suitcases and duffel bags full of paper, and they whip out the paper on you. I've never seen Elon Musk do that a day in my life. I've never seen Bill Gates do that. I've never seen Zuckerberg do that. I've never seen Warren Buffett do that. So for all I know, Floyd Mayweather got them beat, for all we know, right? For all we know. And for all we know, no knock on our brother Floyd, but we don't know if that money is even printed up money. They just throwing around and making it appear like he got something, right? We don't know. None of us really know. But what we do know is that they are in front of us and placed in front of us as being those who are the wisest in the world, based off of their abilities to make an absorbent amount of financial gain based off of what the world is saying is wisdom. Now, when the world says something is wisdom, that's when we got to sit back and we got to say, hold on a minute. If you saying the world, if the world is saying something is wisdom, that's when we have to really allow that light to go off in our mind, and we have to think about what this wisdom actually is. Now, the scriptures detail to us what wisdom is, and the scriptures detail to us how to work with wisdom. Okay? Now, is financial wealth wrong? No, it's not. Is having things wrong? No, it's not. As a matter of fact, the Most High not only created us to be royal priesthood to the world on his behalf, but also wanted us to be abundant in all things good. It was only until we fell away from the laws, statutes, commands, judgments, ordinances, and precepts of the Most High that we were scattered into the four corners of the world, that our language was stripped of us, that our original names were stripped of us, that our heritage was stripped of us, that our culture was stripped of us, and that we were stripped away from our blood right inherited land. Okay? Now, maybe I'll do a lesson on this in the future, but I remember I asked a rhetorical question when I first started this channel about what's up with the children of Israel inheriting Canaan, that land of Canaan. Well, if you know that Canaan was not supposed to have that land. Okay, Canaan actually did some duping to get that land. The land was always Shem's or Shem. Okay, and so that's another lesson altogether. But that's why the Most High uh, took Canaan out of that land and replaced Canaanites with Israelites in that land, because Canaan is a child of Ham. Okay, Canaan is not a child of Shem. The Israelites are a child of Shem through Aber, through Abraham, through Isaac, and through Jacob. So that land was always a part of Shem's lineage. Okay, so we'll touch on that later on, Most High willing. But to continue to destroy Israelites, yes, yes, bold righteousness, family. I actually have Proverbs chapter 8 open right now, and we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it, but first, we're going to see what a righteous ruler or king does. And remember what I just said about today's kings, where you have Warren Buffett, uh, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. You have, what's the other one? Elon Musk, excuse me. So you have these four guys, and they all have been planted into each generation of influence on this world. Okay, I don't know who the Generation Z billionaire person gonna be. Okay, but I guarantee you, I feel like it's probably gonna be a female. I really do. I feel like, or it's gonna be a it. It's gonna be a shim. It's gonna be something that's a he, it, they, we type of person. Okay, so I don't know who exactly it's gonna be, but I have a feeling that we're gonna see very soon. And because of that, we have to keep our guard up. So let's get into the book of First Kings chapter 3, right? I love this story. Um, One of the reasons I love this story that we're going to read is because we get to hear and read the exact words that Solomon spoke in a vision that he had while in deep sleep in regards to a request that he needed to make to the Most High, we then see the response that was given to him by the Most High. And then what we see is him actually using the gift of wisdom in a very peculiar way. So much so that the children of Israel who witnessed him utilizing this form of wisdom were in awe, because they had never seen wisdom being executed and right ruling being executed like what we're about to read. Riches and honor are with me. Yeah, durable riches and righteousness. That's right. That's right. And I think you referenced that because we're supposed to be abundant, right? We're supposed to be honorable in our abundance. We're supposed to have durable riches. Durable riches mean assets, tangible assets that appreciate over time. And righteousness. Righteousness is one of the key characteristics of true wealth. Without righteousness, a man is evil. And if a man has gain based off of evil means, then he is fit for the furnace. He's fit for destruction. He's fit for destruction. I was about to say the furnace of affliction, but the furnace of affliction is usually kindled for the children of the righteous. This is how we are tried like fine gold. Okay, we are passed through the furnace of affliction in order to be tried like the fine gold, to help those in need and leave for our lineage. That's right. That's right. So we don't want our lineage to be suffering. We don't want our lineage to have to be without. But at the same time, we also want our lineage, to stand on the tenets of righteousness, to stand within the characteristics of the fruit of the Spirit, so that as riches are attained, we do have sound wisdom on how to distribute and dispense those riches, so that our kingdom of the Most High will flourish. And so, with that being said, let's get into First Kings chapter 3. And I'm going to be reading from, I have the Apocrypha open, I have the KJV open, and I have the scriptures open. I'm going to be reading from the scriptures, I'm going to be reading from the scriptures. And reading from the scriptures means that I'm going to be saying the place names, and I'm going to be saying the names of each person in Hebrew. Okay? And Shlomo, who is Solomon, joined in marriage with Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim. Okay? And took the daughter of Pharaoh and brought her to the city of David until he had completed building his own house, and the house of Yaibayeh, and the wall all around Yerushalayim. So when we see that word marriage, no, Solomon didn't marry the Pharaoh. That is a Hebrew term for covenant. Okay? If we go, let's go to 1 Kings in the KJV. See, one thing that I love about coming back into the truth is that I get to leave this Babylonian mindset alone. And I get to work on my Hebraic mindset. I get to leave the romanticism alone. The Roman antics. I get to leave that alone. And I get to come back. I get to come back to the ways of our forefathers. Now, the KJV calls that affinity. Okay? And Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh, king of Egypt. That's to move in like manner, like mind. That's to be in one accord. Okay? That's to say that they was rocking with each other. Let's see. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. Yeah, that's a beautiful passage. That's a beautiful passage, family. And we know this to be true. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children by his hard work and diligence and vision of preparation, right? We know that legacy is built upon sound foundation and sound decisions. We cannot have a legacy built on sand. Okay, we cannot have a legacy built on weak foundation, because the heavier the weight of that legacy becomes, if we build it on weak foundation, it will either sink or it will split. When we build legacy on strong foundation, we have the opportunity to continue in that legacy generation after generation after generation. And of course, we know that uh, the wealth of a sinner is laid up for the just, because one day when we receive the kingdom of the Most High, everything that we see before us, everything that we had a hand in building within this captivity, unfortunately, is going to be destroyed. But fortunately, those of us who make it through the coming days and the coming time and the end of this age, we are going to inherit the new kingdom with new buildings being constructed. We will be the rulers and inheritors and governors and kings and queens of the new time to come. We will be ruling alongside of Mashiach. So this is something to look forward to. So as much as I would say unfortunately, it's not really unfortunate at all. It's more so of a wow, So you mean to tell me everything that we built up in this country was really to continue to teach us a lesson about what we shouldn't have did? You right. You dang skippy about that. So it's important for us, and I always say this, not to be bitter at the person not to be bitter at the belt. Don't be bitter at the belt. And for sure, don't be bitter at the person who had to swing that belt. You know, we get upset because we've been placed in this punishment. Many of us do. We get really, really, really upset, and we blame the white man, the Asian man, the Arab man, the East Indian man. We blame all these other men for the reasons of our captivity, instead of taking them three fingers pointing back at us and identifying the reasons that we exacted upon ourselves in order to be in this place. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the Most High made some of the most absolute beautiful promises to us if we was to just go with the flow and do what we were supposed to do. We would have always been the head and never the tail. We would have always been at the top and not the bottom. But like I also like to say, what, since about 1492, we've been in the places of our captivity. And to the Most High, if one day is as 1,000 years and 1,000 years is as one day, hey, we ain't been in this captivity but for half a day, a little over 12 hours. Okay? So as the Most High stirs up out his sleep, and as the Most High wiping his eyes and start coming on, it's like, now what's my children up to? Let me look. And he started looking through all of us to see what's going on. And they learned their lesson yet? Because I had to go to sleep on these children. But rather the Most High is adamant about his commandments, and his commandments are only because he loves us. That's right, but rather our forefathers chose otherwise. You know, as long as we're in this captivity, I think the proof is, on a side note, we are our forefathers. Ain't that something? We are our forefathers. And the same way that the majority of us fell away in that day is the same way the majority of us are still feeling the ramifications of that falling away today. Okay? So, as we talk about wisdom, I think it's also important to highlight the wisdom of today that many of us are seeking to claim and inherit upon ourselves, so that we can move in ways of righteousness away from the transgressions and sin and iniquity that we even committed today. Okay? Because I wasn't always in the truth. I was out here acting a fool. I was out here cutting up. I was out here messing up. It wasn't until the grace and mercy of the Most High is so equitable. Equitable. We talking about leaving legacy, right? Equity. Equity. The ability to pull from something that has been invested in order to utilize and leverage it into another area of life, right? The breath of life is very equitable. The grace and mercy of the Most High is very equitable. The fact that we can still be here today after living lives of iniquity, and then be brought into this type of understanding where we could actually perceive finally what the scriptures are telling us, is a beautiful thing. This may be off topic, but what is the second Exodus? Out? No, no, no. It's on topic. The second Exodus is what's going to happen when the Most High sets his hand again a second time to gather the children of Israel who've been scattered to the four corners of the world. That's a very good question. It's a great question. Now, what you have to realize is we are in the place of our captivity. And this kind of goes into what I was saying about our forefathers. The majority of them going off. The majority of them going off serving other gods, creating other idols, fetishes. A lot of that activity is still happening in West Africa today. Okay? A lot of it is still happening in West Africa today. You'd be hard pressed to go to someone's home and not see idols all over the place and gods all over the place being fed. Okay? And so our people are still dealing with false gods and idols. And this is another proof of who we are, where we've come from the shorelines of West Africa and Central Africa. You can still see the effects of why we've been placed into slavery in the first place. But the second Exodus, this has been on my spirit and my mind for a while about the second. Okay, the second Exodus has to deal with us being gathered from the four corners of the world. Okay, and this Exodus is going to be what we call, I have a new song on my playlist. You should check it out. It's called The Greater Exodus. And the Greater Exodus or second Exodus is called the Greater Exodus because it's going to be more magnificent, more great than the first one. You see, the first Exodus, all of our people were in one place, conglomerated together as a unit. We were in Mitzrayim. Our numbers were built up in Mitzrayim. We came in 70 strong and we left. How deep what did we leave? I'll have to check Deuteronomy again in Exodus, excuse me. But we left a certain number strong, and we had a mixed multitude with us of people who had sojourned into Mitzrayim and was like, hey, y'all God is real. We got to go with you. We leaving Mitzrayim too. And so what's happening in this day and age is the second or greater Exodus. It's called the greater Exodus because our people aren't just in Mitzrayim, in the places of our captivity now. Yes, there's a large number of Israelites in the Western Hemisphere that have been taken over here. But you have to remember that most of us over here are of the southern kingdom of Judah. So the majority of us so-called black folks here are either Judah, Levi, or Benjamin of those tribes. Okay? The rest of Israel's dispersed too. Okay? The rest of Israel's dispersed, so much so that we're all over the world. So when the Most High sets his hand again to gather us in the second Exodus, it's going to be greater because now we're going to be snatched up from all these different places in the earth or on the earth. Versus being taken from one place and led back to the land. We're going to be taken from all over the place, wherever we were scattered, and taken back to the land. You see, so it's interesting that that's been placed on your heart. And I wouldn't say that's not for a reason either. So pay attention to those thoughts and pray for more discernment on those thoughts, because I think, there's something in the air about that. I think we all feel that time has definitely shortened and sped up. We know this. And a lot of us are feeling the anxiousness of being gathered again. We know this. But this is the thing that always keeps me firm in this walk and not wanting to hurry up the process, is that there are new babies born every day, and there are children who are growing and who need sound leadership, sound guidance. There are young adults who have been lost for so long, just like I was at one time. There are elders who have been dealing with Christianity for so long and are just now realizing that this book is talking about us and them. So there are a lot of people who still need to be awakened to the truth. Okay? So what I like to do is look at it from that perspective. Let's take our time with our people. Let's make sure everybody is awakened to the best of our ability, and the divine will of the Most High will enact itself. And when that time is ripe, all of us will be gathered at that time and brought back into the land. And at that time, we will be passed under the rod again. See, just like the first Exodus, when we was caused to journey through the wilderness, that was a filtration process. Okay, we had been indoctrinated with the ways of Mitzrayim for so long that we began to get accustomed to their ideologies and their way of life. Okay, we had to remove all of those idolatrous ways from our heart and from our mind. And so that's what the sojourn through the wilderness was all about. Now, had our early forefathers and foremothers immediately got with the program, they would have entered into the promised land a lot sooner. But they didn't. And so it took multiple generations for that uh, uh, mindset of Mitzrayim to be pushed away and done away with. So, excuse me, so that we could righteously inherit the land and be listening with all attentiveness to the Most High. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, that were men, beside children. Yes. So what I always like, you know what I was gonna say about 1,000,000. Okay, so thank you for that. I know there was a number that was mentioned. Now this is what I always do. You see how it says that scripture right there says 600,000 on foot were men. Okay, so if 600,000 were on foot that were men, and there were children standing beside those men, we know the minimum number is 600,000, right? Men, right? Well, we know children come through their mothers, right? So if there's 600,000 men, then you gotta have at least a minimum of 600,000 women who partner with the man in order to bring the child forth, right? So now you add about 1.2 million of just men and women, and then the children as well. So it's well over 1,000,000 people left Mitzrayim. It is going to be well over 1,000,000 people in this second greater Exodus that are gathered. Now this is the part that's going to be, I don't know if you've heard of, and you're welcome family, I don't know if you've heard about the 2/3 of Israel. 2/3 of our people are not going to make it after we get led through the wilderness again and passed under the rod of the Most High. Only 1/3 of us, the scriptures tell us, are going to make it. And you can read about that 1/3. Let's go. Let's see. You can read about that 1/3. What do I want? The book of Zechariah. Let's see. Hold on, family. I'm going to get it for you. Yeah, Isaiah 10 is talking about gathering again, right? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. And the houses rise from women, rabbits, and half the city shall go forth in captivity, residue. Let's see. We're dealing with a couple things at once. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on real quick, y'all, because you got me looking too. Oh, did I say Zechariah? Hold on. We gonna get it. We gonna get it. Alright, excuse me. We go to Ezekiel chapter 20. You can read in Ezekiel chapter 20. Okay? Right here, Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33. As I live, saith the Most High El, surely with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, will I rule over you. Okay? And you could even read in before this and realize how, you know, we're still passing our sons through the fire. We're still messing up, even up into the day of our gathering, right? And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt. So will I plead with you, saith the Most High. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me. Y'all hearing this? And I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. As for you, O house of Israel, thus saith the Most High, go ye, serve ye every one his idols, and hereafter also, if you will not hearken unto me, but pollute ye my holy name no more with your gifts and with your idols. Okay, so we're gonna be seeing some stuff. We're gonna be seeing some stuff. Now that was what we just read right there. Was the account of the children of Israel being taken out of captivity, right? And then being brought out of captivity the same way our foreparents were brought out of Mitzrayim. Okay? And what I wanted to look for was the 2/3. I know I could find it real quick. I'm pretty sure it's in the book of Zechariah. For though people be as a sin to see, yet a remnant of them shall return. That's right. All praises. That remnant is the 1/3. Okay? That remnant is the 1/3. Alright, give me one moment again. Give me another moment again. Let me see. Yeah, we're gonna sing them old school spirituals. Right. I know it's right in my face too. I know it's right in my face. Did you get it? Yeah, there you go. I told you, it's right in my face. Let's get it. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. See? Thank you. All praises. So y'all see that? So this is what we're talking about. Hold on, y'all. Let me give me one moment. Give me one moment. I'm finna y'all give me y'all give me one moment. All right. Woo. I got that heat on, and I got the hoodie on, and I got the sweater on. Because it's supposed to be a cold front coming in. I don't know where y'all at, but it's a cold front coming in from the north. So we want to handle that. Thank you, brother. All praises to the Most High. That's exactly what I was on. That's exactly what I wanted to bring forward. Was Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. Okay, but right now we're dealing with a lot, and it's great to be thinking on the things of the future and to rehearse the righteous acts in order to get us there, right? Ah, thank you, family. Yeah, that's one of the commandments, right? To grow our beard and not mar the edges. So, all blessings. I know a lot of our brothers want to grow beards, but the plantation, the job won't allow it and make it uncomfortable. Okay, but the whole time they'll let a female take take testosterone pills and talk about she finna grow out a mustache or a goatee. Okay, so as long as you can grow it, brother, I say grow it. I say grow it. I say grow it. As long as you can grow it, and get your mane long. And I actually have a beard oil too. I've been thinking about sharing with the family. And now that I'm looking at mirrors, aloes, and cinnamon out here in Proverbs, but that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, brother, grow your beard out. Okay? Especially in an era like this where they trying to make it difficult to tell who a man and who a woman is. Okay? So look, let's get back to First Kings and let's get into this righteous this wisdom thing. And Shalomo joined in marriage. This First Kings chapter 3 verse 1. And Shalomo joined in marriage with Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim. Remember, marriage, affinity, covenant, agreement, and took the daughter of Pharaoh and brought her to the city of David until he had completed building his own house and the house of Yahweh and the wall all around Yerushalayim. Only the people slaughtered at the high places, for a house for the name of Yahweh had not been built until those days. And Shalomo loved Yahweh, walking in the laws of his father David, except that he slaughtered and burned incense at the high places. And the sovereign went to Gibeon to slaughter there, for that was the great high place. Shalomo offered 1,000 ascending offerings on that slaughter place. At Gibeon, Yahweh appeared to Shalomo in a dream by night, and Elohim said, "Ask what I should give you." And Shalomo said, "You have shown great loving commitment to your servant David, my father, as he walked before you in truth and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with you. And you have guarded for him this great loving commitment, and did give him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Yahweh, my Elohim, you have set up your servant to reign instead of my father David. But I am a little child. I do not know how to go out or to come in. And your servant is in the midst of your people, whom you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to be numbered or counted. Shall you then give to your servant an understanding heart to rule your people, to discern between good and evil? For who is able to rule this great people of yours? And the word was good in the eyes of Yahweh that Shalomo had asked this. So Elohim said to him, "Because you have asked this, and have not asked long life for yourself, nor have asked riches for yourself, nor have asked the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself discernment to understand right ruling, see, I shall do according to your words. See, I shall give you a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like you before you, and none like you shall arise after you. And I shall also give you what you have not asked, both riches and esteem, so that there shall not be anyone like you among the sovereigns all your days. And if you walk in my ways, to guard my laws and my commands, as your father David walked, then I shall prolong your days." And Shalomo awoke, and see, it was a dream. And he came into Yerushalayim and stood before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, and offered up ascending offerings and made peace offerings. And he made a feast for all his servants. Then two women, whores, came to the sovereign and stood before him. And one woman said, "O my master, this woman and I dwell in the same house, and I gave birth while she was in the house. And it came to be the third day after I had given birth, that this woman also gave birth, and we were together. There was no one else with us in the house, only the two of us in the house. Then this woman's son died in the night because she lay on him. And she arose up in the middle of the night and took my son from my side while your female servant slept, and laid him in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And I rose up in the morning to nurse my son, and saw he was dead. But I looked at him closely in the morning, and saw he was not my son, whom I had born. And the other woman said, No, but the living one is my son, and the dead one is your son. And the first woman said, No, for the dead one is your son, and the living one is my son. And they spoke before the sovereign. And the sovereign said, The one says, This is my son who lives, and your son is the dead one, while the other says, No, for your son is the dead one, and my son is the living one. And the sovereign said, Bring me a sword. Bring me a sword. So they brought a sword before the sovereign. And the sovereign said, Divide the living child in two, and give half to one and half to the other. Divide him in two. And the woman whose son was living spoke to the sovereign, for she was overcome with compassion for her son. And she said, Oh, my master, give her the living child, and by no means kill him. By no means kill him. Please, just give him to the other one. But the other said, Let him be neither mine nor yours, but divide him. If I can't have him, no one can have him. Just chop him in two then. And the sovereign answered and said, Give the first woman the living child, and by no means kill him. She is his mother. And all Israel heard of the right ruling which the sovereign had rendered, and they feared the sovereign, for they saw that the wisdom of Elohim was in him to do right ruling. Woo! Now, why is that story so valuable to today? In an era where our children are being genocided left and right. In an era where our people are still being chopped down left and right by a systematic approach to removing us off of the planet. Why is that so important? To be able to see one of the first acts of wisdom being portrayed within scriptures to us after that wisdom from on high was received. Well, I always found it interesting that the wisdom that Solomon asked for is of feminine nature. Okay? It's of a feminine principle. Okay? Yes, all praises to the Most High. So it's of a feminine principle. And don't you find it, I love wisdom too. Now, be bold righteousness. Oh, brother, I love it too. I was just going to ask you, but you said you was growing your beard too. That's what's up. So, my brother, I love wisdom too. Now, this is the thing. Wisdom is typified as feminine in the scriptures. She, her, right? I found it very interesting that the very first act where wisdom was being utilized, the wisdom from the Most High, within Solomon, it was in regards to two women who had a dispute. Now, the one woman who was awarded the child, whose child it really was, whose child the son was, she had such a righteous love for her son, for her baby, that she would do anything to protect his life, even if that meant giving that child away to someone who was not his mother. So, what we need to recognize is that wisdom was not just in the midst of Solomon during this portrayal, this event. Wisdom, being typified as a woman, was also in a woman. But wisdom, as being put into the woman, was in the woman who was of a righteous nature. Even though she was a whore, a harlot, a prostitute. The other woman who was a whore, prostitute, harlot, she did not have a sense of righteousness within her. And her wisdom was that of wickedness. Okay? Her wisdom was that of wickedness. So when you look at the differences of how the idea of wisdom is typified within Scripture in those short verses, in that short story, we can begin to see that there is a sound wisdom, and then there was a wisdom to do evil. My people are wise to do evil. Okay? My people are wise to do evil. Okay? This is something that the Most High tells us. His people are wise to do evil, meaning that we have all sorts of proclivities in us to be the best people that we could be in righteousness, but we would choose to use our gifts and our talents to do the wrong, unwise, nasty, low vibratory thing. So the majority of us are wise to do wickedness, wise to do evil. And we are typified in this whore. Now, it just came to me that this is also prophetic. We went a whoring as nations against the Most High. The Most High is our sovereign of sovereigns, right? So when we think about Israel, and we think about the southern kingdom of Judah, the northern kingdom of Israel, and the southern kingdom of Judah, which at one time were together in the days of Solomon's rule. Isn't it interesting that this story is in pertinence or pertaining to Solomon's rule? But this is taking place at a time when the kingdom was together, right? Israel turned into a whore. The southern kingdom of Judah turned into a whore as well. And we went whoring with the other nations against our husband, who is the Most High. Just like the Proverbs 31 woman is synonymous with Lady Wisdom. Yes. Example, wisdom is worth more than rubies, and the virtuous woman is worth more than rubies. Yes. 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 That virtuous woman, she is typified as being wise because she has a vision that encapsulates her position and role within her family unit. Okay? And maybe we can get that one day. But you brought out a key point, and we'll just rest with that one. Wisdom is worth more than rubies. That's right. We're going to see that in 1 Kings chapter 3. How do we know this? Wisdom is worth more than rubies. We know this because in verse 12 of 1 Kings chapter 3, see, I shall do according to your words. See, I shall give you a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like you before you, and none like you shall arise after. And, verse 13, and I shall also give you what you have not asked, both riches and esteem, so that there shall not be anyone like you among the sovereigns all your days. You see, when Solomon asked for wisdom is in how to rightly rule the kingdom of Israel, the riches and the wealth and the esteem of such was added on to him. Had he asked for riches and wealth first, he would have contaminated the kingdom a lot sooner. He would have caused the kingdom to fall into wickedness because it would have been the material wealth that he placed before that of the spiritual. And if the people of Israel of that day would have seen the example of their king clamoring after physical wealth before the right rulings of the Most High, we'd have been destroyed. The kingdom would have been rent in two in Solomon's day. Solomon wouldn't have lasted on the throne as long as he did. You see? So when we look at this story and we see how one woman utilized a keen sense of wisdom in recognizing that if she made a decision to argue over her baby, that baby was going to be chopped in two, literally ripped asunder. Okay? She loved the baby so much that if it meant his life versus her having a piece of him, she was going to choose his life. The other lady, who was wise to do evil, she didn't love that little boy. She was bitter because she felt the ramifications of not properly preparing in a nighttime setting and not falling asleep on and laying on her child. So she was upset with herself and so distraught that she didn't want to see a sister maintain her motherhood of a child as well. So her bitterness and her hatred toward herself caused her to act that way toward her own sister, in this case, another sister of Israel. Okay? And in that act, in that portrayal of bitterness, she messed around and was going to allow her sister's child to be chopped in two. Like I said, as if to say, if I can't have my child, you can't have yours either. And if I can't have him, can't nobody have him, because we know good and well, if anybody's chopped in two, that person is suitable for the worms, is suitable for the grave. That's how Solomon knew who the mother really was. Because only a real mother would do anything in her power to make sure that her child is safe from harm. You understand? Same thing happened with Moses. When Pharaoh put a decree out to kill all of the newborn males, first of all, hold on. Why do I keep messing this sister's name up? I know Pua. Let's go to Exodus chapter 2. I know Pua. The midwives. Shifra, I believe. Shifra. Pua and Shifra. Okay? Pua and Shifra. Yeah, Shifra and Pua. Verse 15 of Exodus chapter 1. Okay? So when Shifra and Pua, who were the Hebrew Israelitish midwives at that time, got the decree from Pharaoh to kill all the sons, they was like, nah, these boys, Hebrew Israelite women, they a lot more fertile and stronger than Egyptian women when it comes to giving children. So every time we go to an Israelitess and she's giving birth, by the time we get there, she done already had the baby. So we're too late. Sorry, Pharaoh. Okay? Now, even though part of that wasn't necessarily true, the Most High rewarded Shifra and Pua for that. Because that, if they hadn't have stood in as midwives, I'm getting new revelation. Thank you, Aki. All praises, all praises, all praises. If Shifra and Pua hadn't have done that, then we probably wouldn't be here today. So all praises to the Most High for Mama Shifra and Mama Pua for being wise enough to not listen to Pharaoh when it came time for us to be genocided in that day. But Moshe's mom did the same. She said, I would rather my son survive and live than for me to hold him and everyone knows that he is an Israelite of Levi. And so she allowed Pharaoh's daughter to take him in. But she was situated as his wet nurse, as his nursing mother. And she was really his mother. Okay, so the Most High worked it out. But wisdom is key in all of these situations. The ability to take what's going on in front of an individual or in front of us at a time, rightly analyze it, and then act on it. See, wisdom is a form of action. In my definition of wisdom, wisdom is a verb. Because wisdom is the act of sound knowledge. It's the implementation, if I may, of sound knowledge. It should be. Okay? Now, once again, the children of Israel are wise to do evil. So, we can have a form of knowledge. Okay? If somebody wants to go and do something like hit a bank, right? And I'm not suggesting that at all. But if somebody wants to say go hit a bank, well, guess what? However they go on and play that out, that's a form of knowledge that they had to get to know where everything was going to be, to know what times to slide up onto it, to know who was on guard, who wasn't on guard, to know who's at the window, this and that, right? Then there's a form of wisdom to actually implement whatever knowledge that they got. Now, obviously, that's nothing that we stand for here. We not getting down like that. Okay, I'm just gonna put that disclaimer out there. But that's something called being wise to do evil. Okay? Now, if we took that same energy and applied it to something to do good, we would be out of our well, I'm not going to say we would be out of our captivity, but I think one of the wisest things we could do is at least have a day of prayer as the children of Israel. That's one of the wisest things we could do. Imagine every single Israelite just in this country alone stopping, not spending, having an actual Shabbat, day of rest, where every single Israelite in this nation just cold turkeys everything that brings us pleasure on the day of rest. I know the Most High will hear our cry at that point. I know the Most High will bend his ear to us at that point. But we as a people have not done that. And I feel like there's still, even though many of us are waking up, the number is still small. It's still not large enough. And this is why I say we have to continue to long suffer and pray for durability and endurance to this day, because we've been given the signs of the times to know what to look for when the return of a Mashiach comes, but we don't know exactly when that hammer's gonna drop, right? So what we have to do is continue to run the marathon and continue to stay focused and continue to rehearse the righteous acts and honoring the feast days and leaving iniquitous ways alone. Stop transgressing the law, statutes, and commands to the best of our ability and to actually seek a righteous life, right? So it's very cool the time that we're in, but when you look at what the one sister did, and she was willing to have that baby chopped up like that, and you compare her level of wisdom, which she thought was wise. Okay, well, shoot, just chop him up and I get a piece and then we'll bury him together type thing. That form of wisdom falls in line with what we see today from all the so-called elites, okay, who are willing to test on living people and living souls through the Neuralink and through the RFID chip, which is, both implementations of the mark of the beast and these sorts of things that we know are not savory for us to be participating in, or the introduction to the one world government through the metaverse and all these different nasty inventions, wicked devices that are being created daily and honed in upon in order to trick us out of our position. That's nastiness. That's total nastiness. It's straight wickedness. But it is a level of wisdom that most of the world deems to be all right. And it's not all right. It's not all right. Proverbs chapter 8 tells us, verse 1, doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way in the places of the paths. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. So, the sons of Adam, who we are not the sons of the wicked one. We are not of the lineage of Cain. Okay, we are not of the lineage of Cain. We are not of the lineage of the serpent. We are not of the serpent seed. Okay, we are of the lineage of Adam, the son of man, right? And this is the thing. The sons of man. Okay, and so this is the thing. We need to get our stuff together. Okay? Especially as men. Especially as men. Especially as men of Israel. We really need to get our stuff together, right? We need to get to a point where we can wholeheartedly separate from this wicked kingdom. I feel like because we are the trendsetters on earth, because it ain't cool until we do it, we have to first create the movement of the wave within our own communities, within our own nation, whether our brothers know that they part of the nation of Israel or not. We have to be able to create and stir up the waters in such a way where that influential energy that we carry, that trend-setting energy that we carry, carries over into the rest of our people. So much so that our people see the coolness of living righteously. So much so that we see the coolness of doing the right thing. When we do the right thing, we are rewarded in righteousness. When we do the wrong thing, our rewards are temporal, and guess what? We are living in wickedness, which goes back to, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just, in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart, fearing and revering the Most High. I was just talking about that this evening. Fearing and revering the Most High is the name of the game. Because when we fear and revere the Most High, guess what? The fear, look, we was just finna get it. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. And the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. Thank you, Ak. All ye simple, understand wisdom. The simple don't want to understand wisdom. The simple want to be materialistic. The simple want to clamor for materialism. The simple want to fight for position in this world. The simple want to be one of the elite. The simple want to hop into systematic machines without knowing how they operate or what they are operating for. Understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Fools don't want to be of an understanding heart. Fools want to be contentious. Fools want to keep on stirring up the pot in order to cause strife, in order to cause division. Fools like to see discord. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the openings of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. You see, no coincidence at all. No. No coincidences around here. Divine timing every time. See, when the Most High said that we are quick to do wickedness and we are wise to do evil, how could the wisdom of the Most High be in us if we are quick to do those things? Could the wisdom of the Most High have been in us when we began to fall away from Torah? Even though our falling away was prophesied in Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1 and 2, which took place after the curses were obviously shared to us through the word, we still had to live within the confines of the prophecy taking place. Okay? What's a movie that deals with prophecy in a sense where, the movie that just hit me was Final Destination. Where no matter what they did to get out of the vision that the dude saw was going to happen, it still ended up happening anyway. No matter what they did, they could stay at home all day. Oh, I ain't going out. I'm not going nowhere today. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to stay in. They could stay in, and they would still end up getting in trouble. Right? Well,
that was a totally wicked movie, and I hate to bring it up, but in the strength of prophecy being fulfilled, prophecy is just that. No matter what we try to do to avoid prophetic happenings, prophecy is going to continue to take place. It's going to continue to unravel. It's going to continue to manifest until it's at its fullness. And so, wickedness is an abomination to wisdom of the Most High. Those of us who operate in the wisdom of the Most High will seek deeply and innately to speak the truth. Because what did you say, Brother King, right there? Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10, you brought it out. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. Wisdom of the Most High is in fear and reverence of the Most High. And that fear and reverence of the Most High, is the seedling of truth. None of us who are walking in the truth want to purposefully share or speak falsities or lies. We all should be striving to do the truthful and righteous thing and studying to show ourselves approved, right? So, do we really want to sit up here and be spewing out lies knowing that we want the wisdom of the Most High? It wouldn't work. It wouldn't go hand in hand, right? So, my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. So see, wisdom is going to come across as being very applicable. Okay? It's not going to sound confusing. It's going to come across as being something that can be understood easily so that the one who's receiving it can also do the wise thing. Receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. What is this instruction that the Most High is asking us to receive? Torah. The fear of the Most High is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. That's right. That's right. And we see again right here in verse 8 of Proverbs chapter 8, you know, the same language. The same language. Same chapter, same language. There's nothing forward or perverse in them. My words. And in verse 13, the fear of the Most High is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. So, we have to even learn how to bridle our speech. You know, I know a lot of brothers will say it's okay to use foul language and this and that. I don't agree with that, because if someone has been conditioned to think a F bomb, for instance, is a foul word, then we should care enough not to use that word because it's going to offend our brother. And we want to be able to speak without offense. It's very difficult to do. But if we know that a word can offend one of the congregation, a simple word, then we want to be able to speak in a manner which is conducive to the highest form of receiving, to the highest form of learning. And when we hear language that we don't vibe with, a lot of times our mentalities just shut down. We shut down and we say, man, I don't know what this dude on. I don't want to listen to him no more. Or we listen thinking that it's okay to speak like that. So when we talk to another who doesn't speak like that and who doesn't want to hear those sorts of words, we go head on and we make the mistake of not judging correctly who is in front of us, not discerning who is in front of us, and then we speak in a manner which the person who should be receiving our message is turned off from. Okay? And that has to deal with forward speaking. Okay? Forward speaking and arrogancy. Okay? I'm arrogant if I don't want to change my speech and cater the message to those who want to hear it at that time. For instance, everybody know we not finna be cussing from the big mama and big papa. We know this. We not finna go to Granny house spewing foul language. She's gonna slap the mess out of us. We know this. So that's a form of discernment to know, okay, well, if I'm at Granny house, I need to watch how I'm talking. I need to watch how I'm talking. And maybe I should treat everybody like Granny. Okay? Maybe I should treat everybody like Granny's house. Wherefore, thank you, brother, you want it. Wherefore, if meat make my brother to offend, I will not, I will eat no flesh while the word standeth, while the world standeth, lest I make my brother to offend. Yes, and this is something that we have to really take into consideration when we teach the truth and when we share. Okay? But this is where wisdom comes into play. Counsel, let's go back, verse 11. You had brought this out earlier. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. So, once again, we see a living application of this through Shlomo, through Solomon, in that he prayed for wisdom, how to rightly rule and govern Israel, and riches and wealth were added onto him, right? So, that goes to show you that riches and wealth are lesser in value in the eyes of the Most High. Still a blessing, still something to be had, but on the hierarchy of what can be received by an individual, wisdom is at the top. Wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions. Ooh, that's a good one. Because today, how many of us in our families went on and got that shot? That Jabberwocky? That 3-point shot? How many of our family got that? Now, those of us with wisdom from the Most High, we knew that that was a witty invention by the enemy. We knew that that was an invention of wit by the enemy, something that the enemy was going to use to take out a lot of people. We knew this. But it was a form of a witty invention. We know that the Neuralink is a witty invention that was created by the enemy in order to destroy the connection and sever the connection between those of us who are here in this physical realm with that of the Most High and the spiritual. So we know that once the mark is taken by anybody, they will not be fit for the kingdom. They will immediately be disqualified. And once disqualified, they will have no chance at repentance when they get that mark of the beast. And many will try to die, but they will not be able to die once that Neuralink chip is implanted within the brain or the skull of the individual wearing it. So we know that these are witty inventions, and wisdom dwells in prudence. All praises that you didn't take that, but many family members did. I know, same here. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions. So when you dwell with wisdom, there's a sense of patience that comes from on high. There's a sense of patience that cannot be comparable to anything else, because we know patience is a virtue. However, when patience is matched with wisdom, that's where prudence comes into play. And prudence is the ability to look at things in between the lines and recognize through discernment what we're actually seeing and why we're seeing it. When we institute prudence, we then able to find out knowledge. And in this case, the knowledge of witty inventions is something that we have to pay attention to, because it's these very witty inventions that today are coming across as high forms of technology, things to be desired, right? But they're totally wicked devices. Elon Musk is crazy about that Neuralink. Oh yeah, but that's the mark of the beast. That is one of the marks of the beast. And so, hey, sister Sally Bear. Now, I don't know, are you sister or brother Sally Bear? My bad, family. My bad. Okay, please forgive me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. But yeah, that Neuralink is totally wicked. And welcome to the live stream, family. That Neuralink is totally wicked. So what we have to do is really look at this thing, and we have to be able to break it down. But this is where wisdom comes in. Okay? The fear of the Most High is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy in the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. So how do we hate evil? We hate evil by abstaining from it. We hate evil just as much as the Most High by avoiding evil. Evil is an element and an energy that is all through the world right now. But but there's hope, because we know that evil can be stood against and fought and combated against wherever righteousness is. So I know, as much as we feel the scales tip at times, oh, look at all that evil, or look at all that evil, and it's like we're all getting tipped over. Sister, okay, Queen Sister, thank you. I won't make that mistake again. Thank you. So as we see the scales being tipped for evil, we have to remember to take our power back as righteous beings. When we take our power back as righteous beings, those scales begin to balance out again. Okay? And then we have that fair fight. We have the fair fight. We're more than conquerors. We're more than conquerors. But the trick is, if we get tricked out of our position and we get deceived within our journey, it's easy for us to give over of ourselves to evil, to wickedness, in an, well, if I can't beat them, join them mentality. And we don't want to do that. The race was not given to the swift. The race was given to those who will endure. It's a marathon, not a 100, not a 40-yard dash. Okay? Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. See, there's strength in understanding, and there's counsel in wisdom. When we're able to remove our indiscretions, when we're able to to remove our bias, and we're able to look at a situation for what it is, those of us who operate in true divine wisdom are normally the ones who are able to rightly dissect or discern what it actually is in front of us. And once we do that, we can then make the decision on how we would like to move forward. So it's very important that we exercise sound wisdom. Okay? Verse 14, counsel is mine and sound wisdom. That lets you know again that there's a different form of wisdom. You know, we talked about this earlier. When an individual is wise to do wickedness or wise to do evil, that's not a sound form of wisdom. If somebody is wise into how to rob somebody else or pull a lick, that's not sound wisdom. That's not sound wisdom at all. But sound wisdom would be, hey man, you know, when I'm going over to this hood, I don't care what I got on. Let me make sure that I either tuck my chain, or how about I wear a smaller chain, or how about I don't wear no chain at all, knowing that I'm finna be going to this block where everybody's hungry. It's not about being afraid. It's about having things when other people don't have things. And it's about recognizing that, okay, if I'm having things right now, and I know I'm going someplace where it's a bunch of hungry dudes, it's a bunch of hungry people, people not eating, people ain't ate in 2 days, people barely drinking clean water, I'm not finna go to no neighborhood flossing on nobody and showing out and showing what I have, because that form of wealth is a quick come up to somebody who ain't ate nothing. Okay? If ain't nobody ate for 2-3 days, that chain, that looked like about a week's worth of food to me. A week worth of food to me. And if that chain is going to be able to feed my family, but you got it on your neck, and you ain't tripping on, and you know where you at, and you not tripping on wearing that chain, then that's pretty much saying, hey, I might not reach into my pocket and give out $100 bills today, but all you got to do, if you bold enough, is come and take this chain off my neck, and then go ahead and feed your family that way. That's what the person rocking the chain is saying. Okay? So it's essentially a slap in the face of those without, when the person walks into an area where people don't have. So it would be wise to be like the people whose area you walking into. Okay? That's just a little insight for the hood babies that's watching these live streams too. So look, verse 15, by me kings reign, and princes decree justice. We see that wisdom is typified in the rulership that Solomon exacted among the people of Israel. So Solomon was a king when he prayed for that wisdom, when he requested that wisdom, and by wisdom did Solomon reign. And princes decree justice. Okay? Wisdom is such a beautiful thing. She is magnificent. And I think it's important because, I'm not just saying she to be saying she. The word typifies wisdom as she for a very important reason. Okay? A very important reason. And one of the key reasons that I have been blessed to understand about wisdom being described as a feminine aspect is simple. One word, a B word, balance. Balance. Divine balance. That's two now. Divine balance. It's simple. Divine balance. Divine balance. By me princes rule and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. I remember when I was a little boy and I read First Kings and I read the story of Solomon. I said, you know what? My next prayer, I'm about to pray for wisdom. I want wisdom. Yeah, I used to be one of them little boys who would take a paper and I write a 1 in the corner and then I write a bunch of zeros all on the paper. And I say, that's how much money I'm going to have. Right? That paper be filled up. 1, comma, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then the backside, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then I heard about this prayer and request. See, I was doing that before I realized I could even ask for wisdom. Up until that point, my prayers were, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. And what's the other one before you eat? God is good. God is great. Thank you for this food that's on my plate. Amen. Those was my prayers. I didn't know I could pray for wisdom. So when I started praying for wisdom and I saw Solomon getting wisdom and also getting the riches, yeah, we gon' we gonna get to the wisdom of Solomon too. Most High willing, because I got it. We gonna at least go through. I got chapter 6 set up here right now. So let's read a couple more precepts out of Proverbs chapter 8, and we'll go on the wisdom of Solomon. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. So I was a little boy, and I'm asking for wisdom now. And wisdom has been added unto me daily, and it's a blessing. It's truly a blessing. But check this out. Riches and honor are with me. What? So you mean to tell me I don't got to clamor for riches and honor outside of wisdom? But I can earn and receive of wisdom and then get those other things that come with wisdom? Like riches and honor? Woo! Durable riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold. Yeah, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. Because one thing about wisdom is, not only is wisdom a verb, an action word, but wisdom also comes in the form of great, great implementation of ideas. When you have wisdom, you're never broke. I spoke with a young brother today, and he was like, what's up, big bruh? And I was like, hey, everything is smooth. Everything's smooth with you? And he was like, man, I'm just broke right now. I'm trying to just get by, but I'm broke right now. I said, brother, little bruh, you not broke. Broke is a mindset, bruh. And I stopped everything I'm doing. People was listening to me, too. I stopped everything I'm doing. I said, bruh, you not broke. You in between transactions right now, bruh. You got bills to pay, huh? You kind of low on cash, right? He was like, yeah, big bro, I'm just kind of low right now, but I'm working. I said, I see you working, and that's why you not broke. You had enough wisdom to know you had to get up off the couch or get up off what you was doing and get out here and get you something. So you're not broke at all, bruh. Broke is a mindset. If you was broke, broke would have kept you from showing up today. Broke would have kept you from getting active in order to change your situation. You just in between transactions right now. You had the other day, and you had to spend it on what you had to spend it on to keep moving forward through your day. And now you replenishing that. Okay, but you definitely not broke. So next time I tap in with you, bro, I don't want to hear you talking about you broke. Because you're not broke. And see, wisdom keeps us from being broke. Because as long as you got a good idea up in this thing, as long as you got wisdom to not only have a good idea, but to implement that idea, you'll never be broke. There'll always be a way for you to make a living for yourself, and there'll always be a way for you to take care of the things that you need to take care of. Okay? So that's the fruit. The fruit of wisdom is part and parcel with all of these great ideas that come to us on the daily, that all we have to do is find the courage enough to push forward in. Okay, speaking of push forward, I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. See, we talking about legacy. We talking about legacy minded. Hello, my name is Queen Sister. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. All right, I knew we was going to have us a great lesson tonight. Okay, I just knew it. I lead in the way of righteousness. I hope all is well with you on the home front too, Queen Sister. I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. Yahweh possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. This is one of them verses I love. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. See, you have to understand that the earth was made with wisdom. The universe was made with wisdom. Before the universe even existed, wisdom existed. Wisdom was right there with the Most High. You see what I'm saying? You see what the scriptures are saying? Forget what I'm saying. You see what the scriptures are saying? So, wisdom is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful substance and element and energy. Been here since before the beginning. Okay? Set up from everlasting. We talking about the ancient. We talking about before the word ancient, before ancient was even a concept. It was wisdom that formulated those things. Okay? When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water. Woo, talk to us. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. Woo, that's heat. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth. When he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree that the water should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the fountains of the earth, then I was by him as one brought up with him. And I was daily in the light, rejoicing always before him. Rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. I want blessings. Don't you want blessings? I want blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings. Don't you want blessings? I want blessings. I want blessings. I want the abundance of blessings based off of the ability to rightly dissect and discern what is before me. I want the abundance of blessings that come with sound wisdom. That's what I want. Everything else should be added unto me. Just let me get a taste of wisdom, because I love wisdom and she gonna love me. You feel me? So let's go. When he gave to the sea his decree that the water should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the fountains of the earth, then I was by him, as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were the sons of men. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear my instruction and be wise and refuse it not. Okay, I'm not going to refuse it. Y'all not going to refuse it? Don't refuse it, y'all. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. For whosoever findeth me findeth life. Y'all want to find life, or y'all want to find death? Y'all want to be cut short, or do y'all want to endure and made to go see? You know what? I'm hoping and praying that everybody in this life get to see the return of the King. What a sight we will see. What a sight we will see. I'm hoping that everybody gets to look to the east, because I feel as though, based off of visions I had, that the Most High's kingdom is going to come from the east. Whew. And it's going to appear. The realms, the dimensions are just going to manifest, and all of a sudden, right before us, we're going to see the new dimension. We're going to see, the new kingdom coming before us. Why did they call wisdom she? Well, from what I can ascertain, we're talking about balance. Okay, we're talking about balance, divine balance. So if the Most High is he, okay, and wisdom was next to the Most High before anything was made, next to the Most High as a he, we would see the she, the balance. Okay, so we would see the balance. That's the simplest answer I can give. But I think also that on another level, it just came to me that wisdom, when we're talking to men, particularly men who are masculine men, who love the company of women, okay, who know how to respect a woman, who know how to treat a woman, who know how to guide a woman, they're going to want to do that and be in accord with her. They want her to be in accord with him, right? And so wisdom is one of those substances, one of those elements, one of those spiritual inheritances where if a man, let's just talk about a man real quick, if a man could identify wisdom as being a she, just like a virtuous woman is something to be desired by a man, then wisdom would be highly desired by a man. And we know that most men today do not desire wisdom like we would, and I'm just going to say we, putting myself in the whole man thing, because I am a man, but I think differently than most. But I'm going to put myself in the position to say I'm a materialistic minded man. So if I was a man who was focused on gold chains and platinum and diamonds and all of this type of thing, right? And I was focused on Murcielagos and Maybachs and all of those sorts of things, Lamborghinis and just all sorts of material possessions, I wouldn't be putting wisdom over or desiring wisdom more so than earthly material things. You see what I'm saying? And the Most High in the scripture is telling us that it would be better for us to desire of wisdom as a woman, so that when we receive of wisdom, all these other things will be added unto us. You missed the reading of 1 Kings chapter 3, where we talked about Solomon choosing wisdom over worldly and material wealth, and how he was assigned or commissioned to use that knowledge, to use that wisdom when he was confronted with two women who had a decision to make about their child. One woman's child was killed. The other woman's child was stolen by the woman whose child was killed. And when you read 1 Kings chapter 3, you'll see towards the end of that chapter, it's a very quick chapter. You'll see in that chapter, oh, thank you, Brother King. Yes. Balance, divine polarity. I like that. Masculine and feminine. Okay. So you'll see how the woman who was wicked or wise to do evil, she was found out to not be the mother of the son who was remaining, while the woman who was willing to give her son away as long as he was kept alive was his mother. And Solomon was able to use wisdom in order to discern between who was telling the truth or who was lying and who was telling the truth. Okay? And so I just think that when we look at wisdom as a beautiful woman, that's something as a man, from a man perspective, we can actually be like, you know what? Hey, I want to deal with her. Like, I want to deal with wisdom over some gold or some diamonds. Like, if I have wisdom, I can get my own gold. I don't gotta wait for nobody to just hand me some gold because they want to control me. I can go get my own gold, even if that mean I know what a tree in a field around a brook look like. And if I know a certain tree is by a river stream with these certain kind of rocks, then I know it's probably some gold in that water. But if I wasn't wise, I'd just be waiting for somebody else who knew where the gold was to dig for the gold, to mine it, and then to get me a little piece of gold while they have the big nugget. Instead of me having the wisdom to not only know where the gold is located, but get the nugget and then know how to market and promote and earn from the nugget. It's a big difference when you got wisdom. Okay? So hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of Yahweh. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. You see that? You see that? He that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. Why is that? It's like hating on yourself. It's like speaking negativity to yourself. It's like the young brother who I had to correct earlier when he was saying he was broke. And I was like, nah, bro, you not broke at all. You not broke at all. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. And sometimes we speak unwisely about our situation, not realizing what the truth of our situation actually is. And when we speak death into our situation, that's an unfortunate thing, and we sin against ourselves when we do that. We should be speaking life to ourselves. The spiritual beauty, woman that fears the Most High versus only physical beauty, ungodly woman. Godly woman is beautiful inside and outside. Come on, Brother King. Godly woman is beautiful outside and inside. That Proverbs 31, virtuous woman, oh, she is beautiful inside and outside. Okay? A worldly woman, she gonna look like she's good, looking good outside, but she's gonna be nasty, destroyed, and devilish on the inside. Okay? So, whoso findeth me findeth life. I want to find life. I want y'all to find life. I want us to find life. I want us to obtain the favor of the Most High. He that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. Yeah, all of those so-called elites, Elon Musk and Bill Gates. Look, Bill Gates he's supposedly this nation's largest landowner, right? And all of the land that he has, from what I could tell, is sitting over deep underground military bases. His Beyond Meat Corporation was created and established in order to fund more of their wicked intentions, but also utilized as a food source for he and all the rest of the devil's cronies once they call themselves going under the ground into the rocks in the caves of caverns to hide from the Most High. Because the devil has got them food. All praises, bruh. The devil has got them food. The devil has the world's governments, the Space Force, the United States Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Navy SEAL, the Army Ranger, the Coast Guard, the National Guard, the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, NSA. All of these organizations, FEMA, what's the other one? DHA, Department of Homeland, whatever they called. DHS, Department of Homeland Security. All of these organizations have been deceived by Satan into thinking that they can actually defeat the Most High and the force in the army of the Most High when them chariots finally descend and show themselves. When Hamashiach returns, the governments of the war are going to wage war, the governments of the world are going to wage war against Hamashiach and the saints. They actually think they could win. This is part of the reason that they have the ICBM missiles, and they have the atomic bomb, the atomic warheads, and they have all sorts of uh, laser beam technology, and what else do they have? Sound wave technology. Uh, all of these deep underground military bases with the monorail, the Magneto train, and all of these sorts of things is because they really feel that they will be able to not only defeat the Most High, but when all of the catastrophe on the face of the earth is settling down and all of that nuclear fallout is dissipating, they can go underground. And they feel like they'll be able to survive underground. But the scriptures tell us that they're going to be crying out for the rocks to fall on them. Because what's going to happen is they're going to grossly lose. They're going to be incinerated. They're going to be incinerated. And the saints of the Most High are going to be hunting them out. The scriptures tell us that right now the Most High sends fishermen into the world. But soon, those same fishermen are going to be turned into hunters. Oh yeah, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get very, very ugly. Whew, it's going to get very, very ugly. Let's read the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, real quick, or however long it takes. Let's read the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, and then we, depending on how the Spirit leads us, we'll either continue or we'll shut this particular lesson down for the Shabbat, and then Most High willing, I could come back later on in the day. Like Endgame, when the Avengers were fighting Thanos and losing, that's the saints. When the portal's opening represents our Messiah coming back and defeating Satan, the beast, the false prophet. Like Endgame, when the Avengers were fighting Thanos and losing, that's the saints. So man, I didn't, you know what? I didn't really get to see all of Endgame. I actually looked at it in another way. The scenes that I saw, I looked at it in a slightly different way. And it was a trip because I was like, hey, is Thanos doing something actually? Is Thanos actually trying to restore a sense of balance to this thing? Like, what's really going on? So before I address that one, I think I should watch that movie again. Okay, I think I should watch it again. I will refer you to a movie though that I do remember, and that's Independence Day. If you watch Independence Day, that's what we're living in right now, where they use Will Smith as the brother who's one of the head Marine fighter pilots. They recently promoted a brother to be the commanding general over the United States Space Force. And the reason they did that is they know that everybody who's operating the chariots right now that are flying above us, getting into formation literally as I speak right now, these are all melanated people, so-called black folks who are in these chariots, the angels of the Most High. So they figure if a so-called black man on earth can be put in position to communicate with the angels above, that maybe they won't attack this place and war won't have to be waged. Okay? Let me see. Wow, I was just watching that with my grandfather. He recommended it to me. Okay, check this out. All praises. So when you see Will Smith's character, he's used as the so-called black face in that movie to throw us off. He makes a statement when he shoots down one of the craft, one of the spaceships. He's in the desert right before he gets led to Area 51. He talks about how, man, this was my off day, man. And why are you disturbing me on my off day, bruh? I could have been at a barbecue, and I always say, black folks love barbecue, right? And he says, man, get your dreadlocks off of me. Excuse me? If you notice, every time Hollywood makes an alien, it's always a dark brown or deeply melanated alien with locks. Or it's always a strong, slender, athletic-looking alien with locks. Okay, think about Predator. Think about not Men in Black, but Independence Day. Those aliens all had long dreadlocks, right? And they came to make war with the Earth. But Independence Day, they tell the movie from the advantage point or from the vantage point of the wicked ones. They tell the movie from the vantage point of Satan's army, which are the government armies of the world, the Marine Corps, the Navy, the military. Okay? But when we look at things from the Most High's perspective, the chariots are going to be considered UFOs or alien to this place. The angels are considered aliens. You see? And Hollywood always depicts our people in the sky as being some bloodthirsty, venomous, drooling, dreadlock having, wicked, evil force, because to Satan, they are a sign of the end of his kingdom. So of course the wicked ones are going to say, oh, those people up there in the chariots are wicked, because they represent the end of this kingdom and the beginning of the kingdom to come. You get it? So all praises that you was just watching that movie too. So look, listen therefore, O kings, and understand. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 1. Listen therefore. Yeah, it really plays out now, Sally. It really plays out now for sure. We're gonna keep on seeing it. It's gonna be a bloodbath. Armageddon. Yes. It's gonna be a bloodbath. That's facts. Hamashiach is going to be returning with all white garments. But by the time he's done, those garments are going to be stained blood red. They're going to be stained, what's the color? Crimson red. They're going to be stained crimson red with blood. They're going to be dripping with blood because of all of the bloodshed. Okay? It's going to be a literal bloodbath. The scriptures tell us that Hamashiach is going to be stepping on people as if one who is treading in the grapes to make wine. Up to the horse's bridle. Come on with it, Doc. Verse 1 of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6. And that's why we want to be on the right side of this thing. Listen therefore, O kings, and understand. Learn, O judges of the earth. Learn, O judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, you that rule over multitudes and boast of many nations. For your dominion was given you from the Most High, and your sovereignty from the Most High. He will search out your works and inquire into your plans. Because as servants of his kingdom you did not rule rightly, or keep the law, or walk according to the purpose of God, he will come upon you terribly and swiftly, because severe judgment falls on those in high places. For the lowliest may be pardoned in mercy, but the mighty will be mightily tested. For the Most High of all will not stand in awe of anyone, or show deference to greatness, because he himself made both small and great, and he takes thought for all alike. But a strict inquiry is in store for the mighty. To you then, O monarchs, my words are directed, so that you may learn wisdom and not transgress. For they will be made holy who observe holy things in holiness. And those who have been taught them will find a defense. The defense is standing in Torah. Yes, they're the aliens. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that's what they consider them to be. So we know the angels of the Most High are the righteous workers of truth in the higher spaces above us. And when the time for them to be all the way revealed has come, we're going to hear that last trump and war is going to be on. It's going to be war. It's going to be, let's get ready to rumble. Therefore set your desire on my words. Long for them, and you will be instructed. So we need to set our desire on the word of the Most High. Okay? We need to set our desire on Hamashiach. We need to set our desire on the word of truth. Okay? Because that will be our defense in this time to come. We were punished and severely judged because we fell away from the word of truth. and we decided to chase after the things and the gods and the ways of other nations. Okay? Wisdom is radiant and unfading, and she is easily discerned by those who love her, and is found by those who seek her. She hastens, that means she hurries, to make herself known to those who desire her. One who rises early to seek her will have no difficulty, for she will be found sitting at the gate. To fix one's thought on her is perfect understanding, and one who is vigilant on her account will soon be free from care, because she goes about seeking those worthy of her, and she graciously appears to them in their paths and meets them in every thought. The beginning of wisdom is the most sincere desire for instruction, and concern for instruction is love of her. And love of her is the keeping of her laws, and giving heed to her laws is assurance of immortality. And immortality brings one near to God, or El. So the desire for wisdom leads to a kingdom. Right there, we realize that wisdom is so important that wisdom leads us into immortality, right? Love of her, wisdom, is the keeping of her laws, and giving heed to her laws is assurance of immortality. And we know that immortality brings us closer to El, or the Most High. So the desire for wisdom leads us to the kingdom of the Most High, where immortality is attained. You see how that works hand in hand? We seek wisdom. Wisdom adds unto us a gift money cannot buy, which is immortality. And immortality is the key to being in the kingdom, because we must put off corruption to inherit incorruption. You see, in Adam's day, in Adam's day, they were incorruptible until they took corruption onto themselves through the disobedience of the first law that was given to Adam in the garden. When Adam sinned against the Most High, he inherited corruption, and corruption was then passed down to all of us. Now we are seeking to leave and separate from that corruption of Adam that we inherited from Adam, and now we are seeking to inherit the incorruption of Hamashiach. Okay? And the only way we're going to see immortality is in the new kingdom. Therefore, if you delight in thrones and scepters, O monarchs over the peoples, honor wisdom so that you may reign forever. I will tell you what wisdom is and how she came to be, and I will hide no secrets from you, but I will trace her course from the beginning of creation and make knowledge of her clear, and I will not pass by the truth. Nor will I travel in the company of sickly envy, for envy does not associate with wisdom. The multitude of the wise is the salvation of the world, and a sensible king is the stability of any people. Therefore, be instructed by my words, and you will profit. Now, we know, and this is one of those hard truths to deal with, but we know that salvation is for Israel. Salvation is for Israel. And we also know that there will be those who cleave unto us in the new kingdom, because there's going to be a hierarchy in the new kingdom as far as class and systems go, just like there's a class and system and hierarchy in this kingdom. The difference is about this kingdom is where we are presently now, the wicked rule the earth, because the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. So the hierarchy in this kingdom is the wicked one, all of its cronies, so-called elite, the puppet masters and puppet string pullers, and then everybody else trying to get up there with them, or down there with them, I should say. Whereas the kingdom of the Most High is going to be corrected, and righteousness is going to be at the top, headed by the Most High and Hamashiach. And then we will be ruling with Hamashiach in the new kingdom. And then all of those who are transposed into the new kingdom, not of Israel, will have their different roles in the society of the new kingdom. Okay? And so this is something that I know Christianity doesn't teach, but it's right there in the scriptures for us to reflect upon. Okay? Let's for envy does not associate with wisdom. The multitude of the wise is the salvation of the world, and a sensible king is the stability of any people. Therefore be instructed by my words, and you will profit. Let's continue to chapter 7. I also am mortal, like everyone else, a descendant of the first formed child of earth. And in the womb of a mother I was molded into flesh, within the period of 10 months, compacted with blood, from the seed of a man, and the pleasure of marriage. And when I was born, I began to breathe the common air, and fell upon the kindred earth. My first sound was a cry, as is true of all. So right there, side note, we know that Hamashiach was born the same way that you and I were, through a father and a mother, an earth father and earth mother. The difference is the spirit, the soul within Hamashiach was the only begotten of the Most High. Okay? And I know that's one of those great mysteries that Christianity doesn't teach like that. But each one of us had to come into this world through a father and a mother. That's why Matthew chapter 1 details the lineage of Joseph. And then Luke chapter 3 details the lineage of Mary. Okay, and that's why those lineages look different when you read Luke chapter 3 and compare it to Matthew chapter 1. They look different because they are. Okay, they're different. All right, so just check that out and you'll see the different lineage, even though both lineages come down through David. Okay, they're different lineages though. So that details how Hamashiach had an earth mother and an earth father. They were the ones instrumental in forming the vessel of flesh, because a vessel of flesh has to come from procreators, a man and a woman. Okay? But it was the spirit that was only begotten. That's what was different about Hamashiach. Okay? End of the side note. And once again, if you need proof of that statement, you can go into Hebrews chapter 2, and you could go into Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 verses 1 through 3 that I just read. I was nursed with care in swaddling clothes, for no king has had a different beginning of existence. See? Hamashiach is the King of Kings. No king has had a different beginning of existence, not even Hamashiach. Okay, so if he's the King of Kings, rightfully so, then even he would have gone through the similar birth process to get into this realm. Okay, there was for all one entrance into life and one way out. Okay, therefore I prayed, and understanding was given me. I called on God, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I preferred her to scepters and thrones, and I accounted wealth as nothing in comparison with her. Oh, my family, let's be like Solomon. My brothers especially, we have to rightly rule our families. Yo, we have to guide our children, our wives. We have to run our households in a righteous manner, y'all. So come on, let's do this thing. I called on El, or on God, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I preferred her to scepters and thrones, and I accounted wealth as nothing in comparison with her. Neither did I liken to her any priceless gem, because all gold is but a little sand in her sight, and silver will be accounted as clay before her. I loved her more than health and beauty, and I chose to have her rather than light, because her radiance never ceases. All good things came to me along with her, and in her hands uncounted wealth. And in her hands uncounted wealth, meaning the wealth was so prosperous that I couldn't even ask for this amount of wealth. I wouldn't even knew what to ask for. Just let me get wisdom. I rejoiced in them all because wisdom leads them. Mary was pregnant before Joseph ever had intercourse with her. Ah, see, now we gonna have to get into something else on that one, bruh. we go when Joseph found out he was gonna put her away silently, but the angel assured him that it was of the Most High. we we gonna have to get into that one, bruh. We gonna have to get into that one because that's a whole nother. I did multiple studies on that one. I did multiple studies on that one. We're gonna have to get into that one later on. But just look at them scriptures again and ask yourself, instead of taking my word for it, because that's the understanding that I had originally, what you just shared, most definitely. Look over what I referenced you to. Matthew chapter 1. Before, don't get mad at your ock. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. It's all, we just sharing information, right? Look at Matthew chapter 1 and read it very carefully. And when you get down to around David's name, I want you to put a note there. I know, all respect, all respect. I know. When you get to when you get to David's name in Matthew chapter 1, you can either put a finger there and note it, finish reading and come back to it, or hold that spot and go to Luke chapter 3 and read all the way to David's name again. And you're going to see the names begin to change once David is mentioned in both genealogies. Okay? You're going to see the names change. You also have to remember that he broke customs. I think you know this because you said put her away. So I think you are aware of he break marital customs versus what goes on today with marriage. So keep all of those things in mind. Keep all of those things in mind. Okay? And then let's have the conversation again. And I'm up for it. I'm up to have the conversation again. But let's finish this wisdom talk real quick. But I'm with you. I'm rocking with you. So, uncounted wealth, something that I could have never asked for, was given unto me when wisdom was what I truly desired. I rejoiced in them all because wisdom leads them. But I did not know that she was their mother, you see. So if she is their mother, and wisdom leads all those other extras that could be added onto a man, but we only asking for those extras before asking for the root of those extras, you can see how many of us miss out. I learned without guile, and I impart without grudging. I did not hide her wealth, for it is an unfailing treasure for mortals. Those who get it obtain friendship with God, commended for the gifts that come from instruction. May God or El grant me to speak with judgment, and to have thoughts worthy of what I have received. For he is the guide, even of wisdom, and the corrector of the wise. For both we and our words are in his hand, as are all understanding and skill in crafts. For it is he who gave me unerring knowledge of what exists, to know the structure of the world and the activity of the elements, the beginning and end and middle of times, the alterations of the solstices, and the changes of the seasons, the cycles of the year and the constellations of the stars, the natures of animals and the tempers of wild animals, the powers of spirits and the thoughts of human beings, the varieties of plants and the virtues of roots. I learned both what is secret and what is manifest. Manifest means revealed. For wisdom, the fashioner of all things, taught me. There is in her a spirit that is intelligent, holy, unique, manifold, subtle, mobile, clear, unpolluted, distinct, invulnerable, loving the good, keen, irresistible, beneficent, humane, steadfast, sure, free from anxiety, all powerful, overseeing all, and penetrating through all spirits that are intelligent, pure, and altogether subtle. For wisdom is more mobile than any motion. Because of her pureness, she pervades and penetrates all things. For she is a breath of the power of God, or El, and a pure emanation of the glory of the Almighty. Okay? So, Queen Sister, hello, my name is. Wisdom is a breath of the power of God, and a pure emanation of the glory of the Almighty. Therefore, nothing defiled gains entrance into her. Into her. For she is a reflection of eternal light, a spotless mirror of the working of God, and an image of his goodness. So this is what wisdom is. An image of the Most High's goodness, a reflection, okay, of eternal light, and a spotless mirror of the working of God. Although she is but one, she can do all things. And while remaining in herself, she renews all things. In every generation, she passes into holy souls and makes them friends of God and prophets. For God loves nothing so much as the person who lives with wisdom. She is more beautiful than the sun and excels every constellation of the stars. Compared with the light, she is found to be superior, for it is succeeded by the night, but against wisdom evil does not prevail. So, all praises to that. All praises to that. Bruh, let me read you something real quick. And of course, you can read this for yourself. Okay? You can read this for yourself. Now, we're going to go to Hebrews real quick. Because I know I'm a child of Christianity too, brother. I'm a child of Christianity too. So I was taught that Joseph was like a stepdaddy to Hamashiach, right? That's what I was taught too. But when we read in Hebrews chapter 2 especially, so go with me to Hebrews chapter 2 real quick, fam. If you're still in the live stream, go with me to Hebrews chapter 2 real quick. And I want you to read this with me, not just now, but in your own time. And everybody in the live chat, because we've been duped. We've been duped a lot. Okay? And so my job isn't to be trying to come with new doctrines and have accreditation or claim of fame or any of that. I'm a servant. Your brother is a servant. Okay? I'm a servant of the Most High. Period. Okay? So just rock with me. Rock with the Most High and allow the Most High to use all of us as He will. Okay? So look. Let's talk about some descriptions of Hamashiach real quick. Let's start at Hebrews chapter 2 verse 4. God also bearing them witness, both with signs and wonders, and with diverse miracles, and gifts of the Holy Ghost, according to his own will. Excuse me. Oh, somebody talking about me. For unto the angels hath he not put in subjection the world to come, whereof we speak. But one in a certain place testified, saying, What is man, that thou art mindful of him? Or the Son of man, that thou visitest him? Thou madest him a little lower than the angels. Thou crownedest him with glory and honor, and didst set him over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things in subjection under his feet, for in that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him, because those are things to come and still prophesied to take place. And eventually the whole world will be put under subjection of the Most High and a Mashiach. But we see a Mashiach who was made a little. Now listen, we're about to get into some characteristics. Okay, that's very important. And this ain't me saying it, this the scriptures. So check this out, family, especially those of y'all who's like, well, Mary's his only mother, or Mary's his only parent. Joseph didn't have nothing to do with this. Remember, I talked about the scriptures that we just read in the Apocrypha talk about how people are made. All people are made, okay, a certain way. And when I say people, I'm talking about this vessel, this vehicle, this house, this tent. Okay? The Word made flesh was also put into this vessel to experience within this physical realm. It's a beautiful process. It's a beautiful process from start to finish. But each and every one of us was made the same way. Okay? Now look at this. This is what we oftentimes miss. And Christianity not going to say this. Christianity not going to read Hebrews chapter 2 to us and disclose this truth to us. I don't even need the Apocrypha to necessarily discuss the truth about Hamashiach's birth. Watch this. But we see a Mashiach who is made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he by the grace of God should taste death for every man. For it became him, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one, for which cause he is not ashamed to call them brothers, saying, I will declare thy name unto my brothers. In the midst of the church will I sing praise unto thee. And again, I will put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children which God hath given me. Now, verse 14. This is the nitty gritty that I wanted to touch on. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same. Okay? So what are the partakers of flesh and blood? What does that mean? The partakers of flesh and blood mean that every single person who was born in this world through a man and a woman procreating, having relations, to form a body within the womb of a woman, the flesh and the blood. Okay, when a baby is born, the flesh comes out, the water breaks, and that what's that comes out with it? The placenta is all bloody and all of that. That's how the baby is nourishment, nutrients of the mother's womb, right? That's flesh and blood. That flesh and blood is how each and every one of us normal folk came into this world. Okay. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he, meaning Hamashiach, also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that hath the power of death, that is, the devil, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. Now, if you didn't believe what the scriptures just said in verse 14, verse 16 drives home the fact that Hamashiach had to have an earth father. Here we go. For verily he took not on him the nature of angels. They always like to say that Mary had relations with some sort of angel, and it was the angel who helped produce the flesh of Hamashiach, right? For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. Now, brother, I got to ask you a question, and let's keep it funky and 100. The seed of Abraham is what? In the New Testament, seed is written as sperma. Okay? Sperma. That's the spermazoa, or the actual sperm of a man. Okay, quick biology, all the little life, all the children. My children know what that is, know what sperm is. It's the seed. So I'm going to treat everyone else's children the same as mine. Okay? Sperm. That's the seed of Abraham. Okay? So, what is the seed of Abraham? It is Abraham's sperm that came from his loins to create Isaac. That's right. Sperm is of a man. So if sperm is of a man, there's no way that an angel could have helped Mary produce the body that is within her. And women don't carry sperm. Okay? So if Hamashiach is of the seed of Abraham, by way of Isaac, by way of Jacob, by way of Judah, by way of David, all the way down to Joseph, how did he become a body? It's because he had to be of the seed of Abraham. And this is why he is called the King of Kings, or the Lion of Judah, because he carries the bloodline of Judah. I just did a quick video on what bloodlines actually are. And as children of Israel, you and I should be the carriers of Jacob's Y DNA. That means we are the inheritors of the paternal bloodline, E1B1A, that has gone unbroken and has passed from father to son, from father to son, from father to son, all the way down to us, if we are actually of the seed of Jacob, if we are true Israelites by blood. Okay? So it is the seed of Abraham that Christ had to take on. It's these three verses right here. And we just read about, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. We could get into other verses, like I asked you to read Matthew chapter 1 and Luke chapter 3, talking about the genealogies and how they switch, and how you see one genealogy of Mary and one genealogy of Joseph, and how both of those genealogies at a certain junction had to converge back into making the vessel for Hamashiach. How did the seed get into Mary if it wasn't planted in by someone who carried the seed? You don't have to ask these questions now. Don't answer them now, bruh. You don't have to answer them now. I think you're going to go into a study and you're going to see for yourself, no matter how long it takes. No matter how long it takes. Most High willing, I'll still be here and we could talk about it later on when you actually have prayed over this and you just look at it for yourself with no pressure. Because that's what I had to do. I had to sit up and I heard the key, though, is to not close your ears to the potentiality of what this could be as a truth. That's the key. That's the key. Don't shut down. And don't get defensive, and don't be angry and upset. I'm not saying you are. This is for future watchers of this lesson as well. Don't be upset. Just allow yourself to take a breath. I never looked at it like that before. Let me look into all them references and let me see what's going on with that. And let me pray on this. And let's see, do it make sense to me at a later time. I'm not here to try to coerce you, okay? I'm not here to coerce you, but if I love you as a brother, and I love you as myself, I'm going to do whatever I can in shalom to give you and share with you the same understanding that I have been blessed with. That's all. It might be new, it might be different, it might shake you to your core. But one of the characteristics of us as men is we have to be able to at least listen. We have to be able to listen to things that don't make us feel so good and don't make us feel like, or they make it feel like we're losing a sense of control over how we've been operating. Sometimes it's okay to stand back and say, okay, let me look at this from a very discerning perspective. I don't have to get rid of what I already know. I don't have to leave what I know or what I believe alone. But let me just look at an alternative perspective. And if this alternative perspective outweighs the previous one that I held, then that means this alternative perspective is more weightier for my growth. And if it's a better form of nourishment spiritually for my growth, then that's what I need to be looking at. That's all your bruh's asking. And if it's not, guess what? Guess what you can do? You can get back at me. You can say, bruh, I don't see it. I think I'm going to hold on to what I know. No offense. We good. We just ain't going to talk about that subject no more because I see where you stand and I know where I stand. Okay. Appreciate that, my brother. I'm definitely not closed-minded to this. The Most High leads me in all truth. I didn't think you was, bruh. Honestly, I didn't think you was closed-minded at all. I just know when I first heard this truth about that, I had to look into it myself. I know I had to look into it myself. And when I came out of that study and I looked into it myself, turned off everything, and I just looked at it myself, I was like, okay, this makes sense. Yeah, yeah. How did we all get here? This makes sense. And I started being led to other scriptures and references that aligned with this new revelation. And I only say new because it was new to me, right? And so this is something that I've known for quite some time now by the grace of the Most High. I have a more in-depth study of it on the Gatekeeper Ministries channel. I did that study back in 2015, believe it or not. And that lesson, I think, is almost as long as this one right here that we're going through right now, except it's dedicated to that entire subject. Appreciate you for even taking the time to explain this, Aki. All praises. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But what we not going to do is we not going to get at each other next. We not going to do that. So you don't never have to worry about me getting at you sideways, cussing you out, doing all kind of strange, getting all huff and puff and mad and angry. Bro, we not even on that, family. We not even on that. What we on is doing our best to be refined before the King of Kings returns. And we want to be perfect in his eye. We not trying to be stragglers, bro. We trying to filter out everything, filter out all the lies and replace all that was filtered out with the truth. That's all. I do not, under any circumstances, know everything. I do not, and I will not claim to. But what I do know is that I'm on this path of truth just like you and the rest of the family. And I've learned some things along the way. And sometimes when we get presented with things that ruffle us up, that's the exact thing that we got to take note of and look at and just at least give an opportunity to say, okay, let me consider what this is without losing myself in the process. That's all. And if what we find, and again, if what we find or what we are showed is to be true, then we just been added to. Another brick has been added to our foundation, and we could continue to build. No love lost. I've been around brothers, man, who they call themselves ganging up on me. I done been on group chats and group calls about this very subject, 6, 7 brothers at a time. And the Most High is not going to let his truth go void. Okay? I done had brothers get off the phone mad with me, but they didn't have to come back and say, man, Ak, you know what? I thought about it later on, man, and they'll say things like, you was right. Nah, I wasn't right. The Spirit was just leading me to share with you. It's not about me, bruh. I think the biggest thing is, bruh, you was thinking that I was trying to tell you something to change your perspective so that I could get the glory for what it was that could have potentially changed your mind. Bruh, I'm supposed to love you like I love myself, man. And if I love you like I love myself and I'm a desirer of truth and wisdom, why wouldn't I boldly try to share some form of wisdom and truth that I have that my brother might not have, but he's on the same search of truth and wisdom like me? I would get in trouble for keeping this from you. I'm at risk of losing a brother because if you don't want to take on whatever it is that I'm trying to share with you, or vice versa, and we going at odds with one another, guess what? We done just lost brothers, and now it's more division in the nation. Now it's even more division in the nation. So I'm not with that package. I'm not with that package. I don't gotta argue with you. We ain't gotta do none of that. And we didn't. So all praises to the Most High. But that's for future folk who see this video and might be like, bro, you just triggered me. What you talking about? Mashiach was this and that.
Hey, calm down, brother. Calm down. We all calm here. Drink a sip of water and just listen for a second. And if I'm wrong, I feel and know the Most High will correct me. And this the thing about your bruh. When I'm wrong, guess what I do? I don't got no problem getting back on live saying, man, y'all, let me tell you. Remember that last lesson I did? Well, I found out some new stuff and my bad. Like I ain't got no problem going there with y'all. Okay, so just remember that. Just remember that as we grow, as we build. This about being refined in that furnace. And I want to be coming out as that fine gold. I don't want to come out as no burnished brass. Nothing wrong with brass and silver, but man, let me be that gold. Let me be that gold. Let you be that gold. You feel me? So look, y'all. We done talked about wisdom and how beautiful she is. For all of my family out there who got their hands on an Apocrypha, I want you to go ahead on and take note of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, all the way through. Hold on. I think all the way. You know what? Read the whole Wisdom of Solomon. How about that? And then compare those scriptures to Proverbs chapter 8, which we read. And then you can go into 1 Kings chapter 3 verses. Just read the whole 1 Kings chapter 3 as well. And get your wisdom lesson on. Okay, I've been wanting to bring this lesson out for a minute. And it was time permitted us to do it today. There are tons of scriptures we could have gone over tonight in regards to wisdom. My notes emphasize Wisdom of Solomon chapters 9, verses 8 through 9, and chapters 13 through 15. Okay, and perhaps later on, you know what? Most High willing, we could do another Shabbat lesson later on today. Yeah, that's the last thing we need is division. We need shalom, peace, and understanding. That's right, bruh. That's right. I ain't with the division. So maybe we'll go ahead on and y'all could kind of brace yourself for later on's lesson. Wisdom of Solomon chapters 9, 13, and 15. Okay. I don't know what time it is. Woo! It's 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. So that means it's 6 a.m. and that means it's some other a.m. someplace else. Alright. It's 5 a.m. Woo! I would have never knew. Alright, y'all. So we gonna wrap this one up. I'm gonna get me a little rest. And hopefully y'all could do the same, right? We're going to shut this live stream down right now. Give all the praise and glory to the Most High by Hashem Mashiach. And we're going to keep on pushing. But there was enough fuel for the fire, that spiritual fire today, for us to be motivated into more study. Some other AMs, we always learn. Shalom. Thank you, True Jew. You're welcome. Yep, 5 on the dot for me as well. Hey, family. You know we family. Because we all early risers and we all, what's that, night owls? We night owls. And this is, you know what? When the house is silent and everybody's kind of resting, this is when I do most of my creating. This is when I write my songs. This is when I do my recording. My music. I stay up late at night and I get down with the get down, and you know it's great to have that sense of peace, that sense of shalom when it's time to study and really contemplate deeper issues and matters of life and recharge and just get back on that proper note that we need to be on today. But listen, family, I appreciate every single one of you. I truly do. You know, y'all my family. And I don't say I love you to death. I say I love you to life. Okay? I love you to life. That means I want us to flourish. I want us to flourish into the new kingdom. I want us to be receivers of that immortality. I want us to be the embracers of truth. I want us to truly flourish and be abundant. We don't need to be lacking today.
I know we're in the places of our captivity, but we don't need to be without. We just need to be having things the right way. We need to understand the importance of having things while maintaining a sense of righteousness. Our foreparents, they had things, but their head got fat. And the head got so big that we ended up thinking that we had this righteousness in and of ourselves. And once we began making that mistake, it's a gross mistake that only the Most High can correct. So almost 500 years now, we've been in the places of our 530 years we've been in the places of our captivity, and it's only been like half a day to the Most High, because 1,000 years is as a day, and a day is as 1,000 years. So this hasn't been a long time to the Most High, and we're going to see the visitation of the Most High soon. And until that day, there's still a lot of refining that we have to participate in and partake in. We still have a lot of preparing to do for the new kingdom. And it should be a fun journey. It really should be. I think that as long as we choose the right side, and as long as we focus on the right side, and as long as we stand strong in the truth, we're all, I hate to talk from a victimized perspective. Y'all know me long enough to know I don't like that mess. But we have all been inundated with different forms of ideologies, different doctrines, different ideas in regards to what the scriptures say. And we're all doing our best to come out of that. We're doing our best to leave a romanticized mind alone. We was all taught, ooh, romantics, ooh la la, and all of this type of thing. But we need to return to Hebrew antics. We need to return to a Hebrew state of mind, to an Israelite state of mind. We need to leave the mind of our captors alone, okay? And in doing so, we'll be able to really understand the analogy, the metaphor, the simile, the deeper meanings into how our foreparents actually thought, okay? So I think it's a great time. I think it's fun. I think it's we supposed to do service unto the Most High with joyful and glad hearts. Okay, with joyous and glad hearts. And anytime I get on this live stream, whether it's no people or I don't know what's the most we had on a live stream at one time, maybe 10, 11 folks at one time. If it's 10, 11, or 10,000, I'm still gonna be me. I'm still I'm still gonna be me right here. Let me see. Yes, Mishpachah. That's family in Hebrew. That's right. We always learn. That's right. Some other aliens. Yeah. Some other aliens too. That's right. That part. I appreciate your space. All praises. Same for me, my brother. I was just making music before I got on your live. What? Man, you got any finished songs? You got any complete songs I can listen to? If you got some completed songs, send me link. Send me a link. And if you got a song that's already done on YouTube, send me the link, bro, so I can support your channel. This live stream should be up immediately. If you want to, leave a comment with your link of music in the live stream, or you can email me. Email me at TheRealTrueJew. There. Let me just put it in the let me put my email in the chat. Was talking to you about this on the Wisdom app. Bro, who are you on the Wisdom app? The Real True Jew at gmail.com. The Real True Jew. I haven't been on the Wisdom app since last year, bruh. I still got it on my phone, but I got to turn it back on because I needed space to do other things. So I'm going to get back on that soon. So there you go. That's my email right there. Oh, bro, I'm already rocking with your channel, huh? Yeah. Bruh, I didn't even know. Please forgive me. I didn't even know that was you. I didn't even know that. How you been, bruh? I hope I haven't been using as much either. Man, I'm gonna have to go to your channel, bruh. Cause I remember when we first started connecting. I think what didn't you had just started your channel on YouTube? I think you might have just started. So I hope you staying with it. I hope you staying with it. But I'm definitely gonna support your channel, bruh. And send me some music. Send me some music. Maybe we can collaborate on something. Cause I'm always making music now. We can collaborate on something and we can make something go hard, bruh. So just reach out to me. It's all good. But that's my email in the chat. And if you want to send me a song, it don't matter if it's not mixed and mastered and all that. I do this. Yeah, you subbed already. You gave me. All right, bruh. Yep, I know exactly who you are, my ock. I haven't been to your channel in a minute, but I hope that you still putting that content out. And like I said, when you ready to collab on some music, just rock with me, and it's all good. All right, still working on the music, my brother. Okay, whenever you ready, get me on a feature, or whatever you think you might need me on. Listen to some of my songs, and you can kind of get a feel for my style. And then when you get a beat or a piece of music that you think will complement both of us, then tap in with me, and we can make it happen, bruh. I work very fast, and we'll make it happen, and I'll get the music back to you. All right. But hey, we having a blessed Shabbat. Let's go on and get some rest, family. I'll tap in with y'all a little bit later on, most high willing. And yeah, I love y'all to life, and y'all just keep on staying vigilant. Stay blessed, stay vigilant. All right. And we going up on 3 hours now. So if there's no more questions, no more statements to be made. Everybody's satisfied. Everybody's been satiated with the truth. We gonna go ahead on and sign out. Let me see if I missed any comments while I was reading. And family, I want y'all to take note of them comments. That's what respect between brothers look like, okay? Especially when we have difference of opinion at a time, okay? That's what it looked like, okay? And you just get down to it and you figure out what it is. All right, y'all. Blessings. All the Mishpashah, yeah. Blessings to the 12 tribes. Blessings to all those who cleave into the 12 tribes. Blessings to us scattered across the four corners of the world. May we all wake up. May we all praise the Most High. By Hashem, Yahshua. By Hashem, Yahweh. By Hashem, Yahweh. May we all cleave unto the truth of the Most High. Peace, shalom, Shabbat shalom. Most High Mama Papa willing, I'll be back with another one. But until then, gone.